Hello there. In this video, I will show you how my clients are able to eliminate anxiety and not just handle, but sail through stress. Now, before we get into that, if you want us to help you eliminate anxiety, stress, depression, drop endless negative thought loops, past trauma and drama, and feel empowered, feel confident and free, then go below this video and schedule a call. Now, let's jump into this. People often ask me to help them manage anxiety or manage anger. Alex, I need some help with anger management. I love that one. And I tell my clients, well, you've probably done a lot of psychotherapy or some kind of, cognitive behavioral therapy or maybe some sort of counseling, because the idea of managing your emotions is so disempowering. And I ask my clients, look, would you rather manage your anxiety for the rest of your life, manage your anger for the rest of your life, or perhaps you want to dive a little deeper, or let's say very deep into the very core of your subconscious mind, where all of those inner programs are stored, the ones that cause anxiety and irrational anger, because all of the emotions are bottled up in the psyche. Would you rather manage your anger and anxiety, or would you rather release it in the very core of your being at the root cause level so that there's nothing to manage? My goal as a hypnotherapist, certified clinical hypnotherapist, and also I call myself a hypno coach, because this is not just about therapy work, hypnotherapy, this is also about conditioning work, because it's a process, it's a journey. I take you through certain phases. So my job as a hypnotherapist is to make sure that we reprogram your subconscious mind so that you don't have those unresourceful emotions and there is nothing to manage. So it's going to take you some time to go through the process, because first we need to go do the inner child work and release all kinds of emotions of the younger self. Let's say sadness and fear. That's what we do in phases number 1 and 2. We clear the slate. We want to make sure that all of those negative beliefs of your younger self are completely reprogrammed and the emotions of sadness and fear is gone. That's bottled up from those negative, let's say, traumatic or dramatic events of your life. That's phases 1 and 2. Then in phase 3, we clear anger and we go through forgiveness process. In phase number 4, we clear all the guilt and anger at yourself, and you go through self-acceptance, self-forgiveness process. It's a complete restructuring of the psyche, very deep, very intense, a lot of release, and you feel tremendously empowered. Now, that transformation is going to happen over time. So what do you do right away? Well, my clients learn all kinds of tools and techniques. That's for management. Let's be fair. Managing your feelings would come pretty handy, your ability to manage your feelings before everything gets transformed. So there is one process that I particularly like. I actually love it. It's known as Sedona method. And some of the techniques that I teach my clients, especially in the early part of the journey to manage their feelings short term, are based on the Sedona method principles. It was created by a gentleman whose name is Lester Levinson, late Lester Levinson. He was diagnosed with every single condition that you can possibly imagine, all stress related, and eventually had a massive heart attack, and doctors told him that he's going to die within a couple of days, and they sent him home. It was back in the 40s when they were not doing the quadruple bypass surgeries at that time. So when he came home, he was a type of a guy who wouldn't take no for the answer. So even though he was depressed for 3 days, then he asked himself, well, if I'm going to die, then at least I'm going to try to do something about it before, or maybe even understand why what's happened to me actually happened. So he very deeply got himself into learning all kinds of Eastern philosophies and processes and mind-body. It was back in the 40s, not now when everybody's into this kind of stuff. And he came up with a system. So he didn't die. He created a powerful system of release. He healed his body. He lived a long life. Long story short, he came up with this process which is very, very gentle for your psyche. And I'm going to share something with you. It's gentle because it's based on a questioning strategy. You don't tell yourself something, but you ask yourself. If you tell yourself when you're anxious and you say, I'm calm, I'm confident, I'm calm, I'm confident, well, guess what? Your subconscious mind may not or most likely will not accept it. That's why positive affirmations don't work. I'm calm, I'm confident, I'm calm, I'm confident. Your subconscious mind tells you, no, you're not. And then if you keep on repeating that positive affirmation, guys, have you ever tried that? You keep on repeating that positive affirmation, you put that positive statement on every wall around you, but you end up not feeling this way and actually you feel irritated and you feel like, oh, it doesn't work. Well, it does not. Because affirmations, they bounce right off of what's known as a critical factor, the critical faculty of the mind. So the process I'm going to share with you is very, very simple. Don't be deceived by how simple it is. And it's very, very powerful. It's based on a questioning technique. So first, as opposed to saying something to yourself, you're going to ask yourself a couple of questions, very simple ones, but you're going to notice what it's going to do to your emotions in the moment. It's very, very powerful. So the way our psyche works is that over time, when something was acquired, because we feel it so many times in so many different contexts, we start to identify with it. So a person would say, I'm an anxious person, I'm an angry person, I'm a very sad person. So, you know, a typical one, I'm a very nervous, anxious, uneasy person. So it's even in the language, I am means I equal sign anxious. So I equal anxiety, right? So you identify yourself falsely with something that you're not, because you are not anxiety, you feel it, it's a feeling. Feelings come and go, but because you feel it so much and in so many different contexts, and you say, well, that's me. For the purposes of this analogy, I'm going to use this pen. This pen is a feeling that you don't like. Let's say anxiety, nervousness, anger, irritation, something that you feel maybe in your body, like a sensation of some sort, right? So, and for the sake of this analogy, your hand is it's your awareness, it's your consciousness. So if you're holding it, you know, take a pen, grab a pen right now, guys, and hold it like that. After some time, it starts to feel very familiar. Check. If I keep on holding and holding and holding, well, guess what? It's going to doesn't take much time for this pen to start to feel as if it's part of me. Okay, so I'm already familiar with it. Now, imagine you hold it for years, decades, and if I'm going to ask you, oh, can you drop it? You know, this is me. Now, I don't see the difference. Here you can, right? This is my consciousness, and this is something that was acquired. I learned it through, you know, being treated a certain way by the authority figures in my life. I've become anxious because I started to feel unworthy or powerless or helpless. So now I feel this is me, and it's here. Now, if you've been holding this pen already when I ask you to grab a pen, so hopefully you play with me right now, because I'm going to show you something. So I would recommend you actually grab a pen, pause the video if you don't have it, so that you can have the experience with me. So after a while, this pen starts to feel very, very familiar, right? So I can't even now imagine my hand without it, because I literally feel it's already ingrained in me, right? So now, how do beliefs work? Belief is a persistent thought. It's a process that happens in the subconscious mind. So let's say if I'm anxious or I'm nervous or I'm uneasy or I'm irritated, so there's a belief. I can't let it go. It's me. Literally, that's like a thought loop. It's me. This is me. I can't let it go. Now, hold this pen just like I'm doing right now. Hold on to it. Hold it very, very tightly. And think in your mind, I can't let it go. I cannot let it go. I cannot let it go. Now, keep on running that thought. I cannot let it go. That's how beliefs work. I cannot let it go. I cannot let it go. I cannot let it go. Hold on to it tightly. Think, I cannot let it go. As long as you're thinking, I cannot let it go, and holding on to it tightly, try to let it go, and you will notice that you can't let it go. If you think, I can't let it go, I can't let it go, and you're holding on to it tightly, you can't let it go. No, you can't. Now, guess what? If you just do this and open your hand, after a while it feels very, very weird, almost like strange. Something's missing. That felt very tight, but it felt familiar. Do you know we get addicted to pain? We get addicted to certain states of being, even if they're bad. So if I open this hand, notice it's not attached to anything, right? I can roll it. Well, do the same thing. Hold it just like you did a moment ago. Hold on to it and think, I can. Yes, I can let it go. Guess what, guys? Can you really let go of something that's not you? You acquired it, it accumulated in your neurology, but that's not you. People let go of lifelong conditions. Medicine cannot explain that, chronic stuff. People let go of cancer. Stage 4 terminal cancer, people drop. And science would say, medical professionals would say, it's an anomaly. We don't understand how it works. And if you read the accounts, there are hundreds, if not thousands of accounts of people that dropped cancer like that. They always will tell you that they released something. They don't understand how it happened, just spontaneously. People let go of stuff all the time. We just don't know how to make it happen. And the more you try to let it go, the more you force yourself to let it go, the more you get attached to it. That's the conundrum that we're constantly getting ourselves in. So, this is what I'm going to invite you to do right now. So hold on to this pen again and think, yes, I can let it go. You may not know how to let it go. Get this is important. You may not know how to let it go, but just change the belief. Yes, I can let it go. And you know you can because this is not you. You may not know exactly how, but yes, you can. Yes, I can let it go. Yes, I can. I'm able to let it go. Hold on to it. I'm going to ask you a simple question. Could you let it go? Just could you? Now, is there a simple possibility to let it go? Just theoretically. You may not know how. You've been living with it for so long. So, could you let it go? Just could you? Well, the answer will be yes, you can. Yes, you could. You may not know how, but just answer yes. Could you let it go? Could you let go of this pen? Okay, would you let it go? If it's something that's not serving you, would you let it go? Well, I'm hoping you're going to say yes. If you say no, then we have a different issue. So I'm going to ask you, well, if you want to hold on to your feelings, so please do. Don't fight it. Give yourself the permission to hold on to it, and then really ask yourself, would you rather hold on to it or be free? Now, it's a choice. If you say, yes, I could let it go, but I don't know if I would like to, well, examine what's really going on. But majority of people will say, yes, I would. If, I don't like feeling anxious, so if I could let it go, I would let it go. So back to the question. The first question was, could you let it go? Yes. Would you let it go? Would you be willing to let it go? It's a decision. It's a choice. Yes. When? So if I'm going to ask you when? Well, if you could let it go and you would let it go, when would you let it go? When is just an invitation to say now. If you can let go of something that's not serving you and you would be willing to, why wait, right? Guys, you'll be surprised. What I'm explaining to you is actually a foundation of something very, very powerful. It's a little kind of mental. It's in your cognitive perception. I'm just explaining to you how it works, but it's the foundation for something very, very powerful. So, look at the pen. Could you let it go? Yes. Would you let it go? Would you be willing to? When? Now. And just let it go. And notice, it dropped. Now you may tell me, oh, it's just a pen. I have my stuff, it's me, I'm attached to it, it's been part of me. Well, guys, let's play this game right now. Become aware of the feeling that you may have that you don't like. Let's say it's anxiousness, nervousness about something or someone. Just think of that. Don't pick some lifelong issue, but just anything. Kind of, medium or light in intensity, let's say. Think of it and just allow whatever the feeling is, maybe thoughts, feelings, sensations, sounds that are internally coming up with that. And just allow that to come to your awareness right now. And could you welcome it a little more? Just give it a little more space. Notice if there's this anxiousness, pay attention to it. Turn your attention inward and get a sense of what that feels like. Don't run away from it. Turn to it. Feel it. There's a mild feeling here that I sense. Could be maybe some sort of uneasiness that's like left from maybe a couple of hours ago when I was challenged by something. So I would notice the feeling, would allow it to come up. I would welcome it. Get a sense. Welcome it a little more. Could you welcome that feeling? Could you allow it to be here as best you can? And whatever thoughts, sensations, sounds, if any, that brings up inside. And just for now, could you let it go? Just could you? Remember, it's not the question of how you let it go. Is there a pure possibility to let it go? And answer it internally. Make sure you answer with me. So could you let it go? Just for now. Would you let it go? When? Remember, when is just an invitation to say now. Why wait, right? If you can let go of something, why wait? Let's do this again. Whatever's left of that feeling. Could you welcome that feeling? Could you allow it to be here right now? Could you allow it to pass through you? Don't push it down. Actually, give it a little more space. Just bring it up a little more. Could you welcome that feeling? Could you allow this feeling to be here now? And could you let it go? Just could you? Just for now. You can get it back later if you want. Would you let it go? When? If there's anything left, just welcome whatever is there. Don't do anything about it with it, just kind of focus on it, feel it, sense it, allow it to be here. Could you welcome whatever's left of the feeling now? And just for now, could you let that go? Could you drop it? Could you let it evaporate? Could you let it dissolve? Just could you? Remember, you don't have to know how. But is there a pure possibility to let go of something that's not serving you? So could you let that go? Would you let that go? And answer internally. When? This is it, guys. That's a very simple process. Now, welcome what's in this moment right now. And you may find that the feeling actually eased up a little bit, or maybe you actually brought it up and stirred it up, so there's more stuff coming up. That's perfect. You can run this process several times. Remember, it's so simple. First, you ask yourself, could I welcome this feeling, or could I allow this feeling to be here? That's the kind of like set up question. It prepares, kind of clears the slate and brings into your awareness what needs to be released. And then you basically ask yourself, could I let that go? Turn inward and answer. Is there a possibility to let it go? Yes. Would I let that go? Yes. When? And answer. Okay? Play with it. It's a foundation for something very, very powerful. Now, there's way more stuff around that, and there's some conditioning work that needs to be done for this to work like that, like a switch that you flip. There's more stuff that we need to cover, and that's of course not part of this video, but I hope you enjoyed this process and you can, rewind it and play it over and over again if it helps you, because I'm kind of guiding you through the process. And I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said before, if you would like to learn about the actual process of transformation and how I can help you let go of the past trauma and drama of your life, release all kinds of subconscious early life limiting beliefs, early life limiting decisions, let go of the bottled up emotions from your psyche, which is sadness, fear, anger, which is anger at others or anger at yourself, and guilt, those useless emotions that accumulated in your neurology. And you would like to basically, after you clear it, to program your mind and your body for specific outcomes that you guys want. or simply just to be confident, to be productive, to take very consistent action over time, to have access to a practical intuition. Guys, if you want to eliminate anxiety, stress, depression, and you want to actually dive a little deeper and understand how this process works, just book that call with us. There's a link down there. And guys, I promise you that you're going to spend good quality 45 minutes with us and you will understand how the process works. And I call this a breakthrough call. So whether you work with us or not, that's your choice, but at least for you to understand, that will already give you clarity and that will already kind of give you some guidance about what path to take. And like I said, whether you work with us or not, this is going to be your choice. I will be delighted to be of help. And hopefully if you work with us, then you will experience what I told you about. And if not, awesome. Then you will at least know what to do and you will have a lot more clarity and you will feel a lot more hopeful about what can be done with yourself. So book that call and we'll talk to you soon.